his two main wins, the TJ and the Golden Eagle.
I wish I win from last. A spectacular TJ win.
They were very, very special to be a part of. I think, you know, that day with the Golden Eagle, when he was able just to absolutely storm down the outside and get the job done, that was pretty amazing to watch. And also in the TJ, you know, he sort of had, I guess, conditions against him that day. It was a pretty heavy track. The rain had been coming in all day and we weren't too sure how he was going to handle it, and he just still managed to do us proud.
Moods has got a good one.
With these big races, actually, it's obviously a couple of them being in Sydney. Pete's been on course and I've been back here in Melbourne. So being able to have him running at the Valley is special because obviously we can both be there on course. So we stood there and watched the Moya together, and I'm sure we'll probably be parked up in the same spot come Manikato night. Yeah, Wish's first up run in the Moya was just sort of the perfect first up hit out for him. He only had one trial leading into it. Normally he has two, but we thought we'd just use, we knew the 1,000 metres was going to be a bit sharp for him. So we thought we'd just use that sort of as an opportunity for him to have a look at the Valley and have a really solid hit out, which would then see him sort of coming on really nicely for the 1,200 metre Manikato. So really pleased with that first up run.
And I Wish I Win won't lose any admirers, was just starting to warm up late.
This year it's worked out really well for us with the way that the Valley's structured the sprint races. Last year we didn't have an ideal lead-up race for him 3 weeks out from the Everest, and he really enjoys that 3-week break between runs. So we had to get a little bit creative last year, and we ran him in the Memsie, and then 3 weeks after that he had an exhibition gallop at Caulfield. But this year it's worked out perfectly, given that we had the Moya 3 weeks into the Manikato, 3 weeks into the Everest. So no, it really has worked out brilliantly for us. I've been lucky enough to work with some pretty amazing horses in my years involved in racing, but yeah, I think Wish definitely is going to hold a special place in my heart for a long time, especially now that I'm lucky enough to sort of have my name next to Pete's in the book. He's definitely going to be a very special horse to me for many years to come.